RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
Yeah, but I'm gonna watch the Nats at home and enjoy it.
You don't even like the Nats.
That's not true. You know that.
You're a Tigers fan.
No, I'm a Nats fan as well. When
it comes to both, which one? Tigers over Nats.
It's like asking a mother, like her two twins. Now, I mean, if it's
between
you
have
the
a tattoo of Detroit.
If it's between
if
the
they win the
two-
World Series, are you gonna get a Nationals one?
No, for sure. I mean, get the Tigers one because they didn't. I mean, they didn't win the World Series. The Tigers. Well, they won it in '84, but no, I'm a Nats fan. I enjoy the Nat Teenals, but I'm glad we made it back here, man, because it's been weeks. The weird thing is, and you and I were talking about this, is like
they're upset that we don't.
Well,
no one downloads anyway, and then God forbid, we
go
take
away.
one week off, and people are like,
everybody's downloading it.
Do you guys still do the podcast?
Everybody was downloading the show, like, over the last couple of weeks, and we hadn't even done a show. But we're here. This is episode 50. And I did want to get in some quick vacation talk. Now, it is going to be a Halloween-themed episode, as you may, you don't know yet. We'll be playing some music later on in the show when we actually start it, but you've been on vacation. I've been on vacation. Let's get the cliff notes. Any eventful things? Now, you were with rando listener Mandy.
Yeah.
Who
number one rando, Mandy.
Number one, but not number one rando at gmail.com, though, right? That's not her?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
No idea. Number one rando, Mandy. Fan club member 00001.
Right.
Yeah, we stayed with her and her husband, and yeah. So actually, I have a couple funny stories from this weekend. So we get down on Friday, and I got a text from Logan, her husband.
Sure.
And he's like, "Hey man, sign us up for cornhole tournament." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hell yeah!" I was like, "I'm not great at cornhole." I told him I was a 14U national champion.
I remember you mentioned that right on our 49 episode 49. You mentioned that.
Yeah. So he signed us up for this cornhole tournament. So okay, cool. We get there. As soon as we get there, we go right to Topgolf, and because Logan joins us later, so it's Mandy, Ashley, and I, and we're crushing Topgolf, and they're actually pretty good. And I lost once, so then I turned on the Jets.
Your competitive juices.
And I set a local high score.
A local high score in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
Wow, so you're the king of Jacksonville.
Yeah, and so then we did that, and I was having
king
beers,
of the South.
Having beers there, and then we went to lunch, and I had a beer there, and then
I'm
beers
aware.
There. Yeah,
you and I were texting.
And then so we get to the cornhole tournament. We roll up. It's the Ohio State University Alumni Association group.
Oh.
It's the bar where they gather. It's an alumni event.
Okay.
So Logan signed us up for an Ohio State alumni event cornhole tournament.
A school of which did he attend?
None of us have.
And Mandy didn't attend,
Yeah.
and you didn't attend.
Nope.
And your beautiful bride Ashley did not attend either.
No. And so I look at him and I go, "Did you know that this was an alumni association?" He's like, "Yeah, I just didn't think it mattered." So we walk up to the signing thing.
Oh, no.
Everyone's decked out, right?
Yeah.
They look at us and they're like, "Hey," and we're like, "Hey, is this a signing table?"
So you looked, because Ohio State is.
I was wearing a black shirt and jeans.
Ohio State, red and white are their colors.
Yeah. Everyone there had a jersey.
Everyone there has this stuff on. And just real quick, it would be really funny if we didn't acknowledge that we're doing a Halloween cast and we just wore these costumes, and only the people that watch the videos would notice.
I think we might do that for the next.
Everybody's wearing red and white.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys stroll up. They're all going OH, and then everybody goes IO, and it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And you guys roll up, and what do they say at the table?
So,
like, "Oh, what year did you graduate?"
No, so it gets better. So, so we get there, and they're like, look at us, and they're like, oh, "Okay, so you guys are here for the alumni thing?" And we're like,
Sure.
Yeah. So they give us the sheet, so we're signing in. So I sign in. I use the wrong phone number, right? I don't want them to call me.
No.
And I put
Because they're just going to call and ask for money for Ohio State.
And I put salty.dalton at osu.edu to kind of like sell the fact
smart.
that I was an alumni.
But what if that's not the email?
I don't know. And
it's possible.
It's possible.
That's
but
a good guess.
It was my best guess at
Sure,
it.
that's a good guess.
And so we sign in, and they're like, "Okay, you get basically a free drink ticket for going in." So we get a free beer. So we both go in, we get our beers, we come out, and they're ready to start. Now, let me tell you exactly why I knew we were going to lose immediately.
Yeah.
Okay?
Some serious competition there.
No, there's only one other really good team there. All these other people, like, they were all, like, in their mid-40s.
Sure. Alumni.
Hanging out, yeah.
Coming back to...
Yeah.
Which is interesting that it was in Jacksonville. But yeah,
It's a weird Ohio State bar in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
And so we're all gathered, and these two f***ing chuckleheads, they're wearing Dry Fit sponsored, Ohio State sponsored cornhole jerseys.
Wow.
And we look at them and we're like, those guys are probably good. And then they get paired up with us. So we're facing the number 1 seed right out of the gate.
First round. Because they clearly were like, these guys are out of place.
Dude,
let's just get them out of the
I
tournament.
don't play cornhole that often, but I played out of my mind.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
you got into the golden zone.
So I was playing out of my mind. I was matching the guy next to me almost every single time. He would only get maybe a point. We'd even out. He'd get like 1, maybe 2 points until the very end. The guy on Logan's end was just absolutely raking.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was these two guys. They were just like, he looked over at me when we first started. He's like, hey, yeah. He's like, so what year you graduate? And I was like,
first question right off the bat.
I was like, no, 2008. And then he's just like, you big Ohio State fan? Yeah. And I was like,
2008. So that would make it like
you're right.
6 years earlier than when you actually graduated college.
Yeah.
Because you didn't graduate college in 2008. 2008, you and I were sophomores in high school.
And he looked at me funny, but he's just like, so like, what do you like about Ohio and stuff? And I was like, I just love the area, really great. I'm glad you know
Columbus, I believe Ohio State University's in.
Yeah,
Columbus.
and so he's just like, okay, so like, what brings you down here? He's like, you from Ohio visiting? And I'm like, no,
I came for the tournament.
I was
bro.
like, I'm from Virginia,
Yeah.
and we're visiting our friends in Jacksonville. And he's like, they go to Ohio State? I was like, no. And he's like, okay. And then we're warming up, and he turns to me. He's like, all right, we're just gonna do some toss backs down and back, and then we're ready to start. And I was like, I don't know what that means.
Toss backs?
I don't know what that.
Is that like
he
practice
rattled
throws?
off. Yeah, he rattled off all this jargon, and I only gave you like a small snippet of what he was saying.
Yeah.
But it was like some lingo for like, let's each go once, and then we'll start. So I didn't know that. So when we're going, I was like, oh yeah, I was finding the board.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. I was like, so what's the score? He's like, score. And then the other guys went, and I was like, all right, sorry, that's on me. So
it is on you. You should have known.
So we started. I'm playing out of my mind.
Yeah.
The guy is like feeling the bag. He's like, this doesn't feel like regulation weight. And I was like,
regulation weight.
And then
I couldn't tell you regulation.
And then
weight.
when he throws, he's like, yeah. He's like, these boards are definitely about 27 feet. I'm always a little off at 27. I do better about 28 and a half. And I was like, what the?
Wow.
And then they demolished us in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Ashley and Mandy.
And the game was over.
They didn't finish.
I don't even know how you played.
They didn't finish their drink. We didn't even finish our drink before it was over.
And you were gone.
Well, and how we knew, too, we both were playing with our drink in our hand because we thought it was pretty chill.
Yeah.
These guys walked over to the sideline.
Probably did some stretches.
Put their Gatorade water bottles down.
They probably had the chews.
And then got focused up and ready to go. Yeah, we got obliterated after that. We just finished our beer and left.
Wow.
So we were there.
That's impressive.
We were there for like 20 minutes tops from start to finish.
Man, no, I couldn't tell you the rules of what is even the name of the game? Bags? Some people call it bags.
And in apparently in tournament play, so if you get over 21, you go back to like 13 or something or 15. Okay. So you can bust and you go back to you have to get exactly 21. In tournament,
so it's like darts, kind of. Yeah.
In tournament play, that doesn't exist. So when they got 21, I was like, cool. So I got one on. Then he hit 2 3-pointers in a row, and I was like, oh, welcome to the 15 club, idiot. Yeah. And then he leaned over and was like, good game.
And it was over. Jeez.
So it was rough. It was a rough showing.
Dang. No,
so we did a lot of stuff like that. We did an escape room.
Yeah, I've dabbled.
Crushed it with 13 minutes to spare.
Oh, really? Yeah. Never. I've never escaped an escape room.
Never. We've done. I've done 2, and I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah, my life is an escape room. I'm not getting out. No, that's good. I'm glad you guys got a chance to go. It's funny. You and I
might ask Ashley to do before she leaves is set the oven for pizza rolls.
Oh, I like pizza rolls.
Yeah, Totino's.
Oh, I like Totino's.
Totino's
pizza rolls?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah, do whatever you got to do, man. It's just the Halloween cast. I mean, it's only the most important event of the year.
So we did a whole bunch of fun stuff like that. We got pretty tanked on like the first night, and then I paddleboarded for the first time in my life. Ate like 4 times.
Yeah, I've never paddleboarded. I'm
So
kind of
hard.
scared to. I'm
Well,
scared
I'll
that
tell
I
you
will
how
screw it
dumb
up.
I am. I got on it and I was standing like a surfboard.
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
And I
You
was
gotta
like, I was
feet
standing on
the
a
sides.
surfboard and trying to paddle. And I was like, guys, I don't think this is right. And I fell over a couple times. And they were like, you're doing it wrong.
That's embarrassing.
So what about you? What about you? Give me some highlights.
One
of
quick.
your 5K.
I got one quick story before we get into it, because then after we start the intro, I want to talk a little bit Halloween. We'll get into the Halloween mood, but real quick. So I may be in a contractor wormhole right now. I think I told you about this before you went on vacation.
The leak.
The leak. So the
Yes.
leak, and we're not going to get too technical, but the leak ended up being not a leak with the sink. It ended up being a leak in the tubes from the AC unit. The condensation from the tubes was leaking down. So the guy downstairs knows a guy. Everybody knows a guy. So I said,
We know a guy. We offered you
I said,
our
"That's fine."
guy.
Yeah, but I wanted to go with his guy. So
guy's cheaper.
because it was convenient. Well, I don't even know. Just let me get to that. So the guy, so he says, I got a guy. When are you free? And I was like, we get back on vacation this day. Come on over on Saturday or whatever it was. So he comes over with his guy, older Asian gentleman, much like yourself, and the guy comes over, figures out where the leak is. Does some work. Everything seems to make sense.
What's
for the
some
most
work?
part. So like he had to replace the tube that had a crack in it that was leaking condensated water.
So he went
down
up
there
through the ceiling of the downstairs people.
for the downstairs, as well as working from up where we are. So it was
tore up the
working
floor?
between. No, it didn't tear up the floor. It's the pipe from the AC unit. You can
Oh,
get
he
to
went-
that. So you open up the water closet or whatever.
Got
is.
it, yeah.
So anyways, he's working on that. Fixes the tube, I guess. Well, no, he discovered the problem, and then he was like, I need the right part for the tube. I'm going to come back
They
tomorrow.
always need the right part.
So the thing was, though, so he said, I'm going to come back tomorrow. And so this was a very old Asian man, and I couldn't really I'm not being racist, but I couldn't understand a word he said. But
That's racist.
There was another guy there who's a younger Asian guy that actually owns the place down below. He's the landlord guy for the down below people, because they rent. We bought our house, they rent their house. So that guy was kind of like the translator. Kind of. So like the old Asian man would say some things, and then the young guy, the landlord guy, would speak them to me, and then we would kind of have a conversation where, shoot the shit, whatever. The problem was, so the guy, the younger gentleman, had to leave early. He had to go to something else. So he left, and it was just me and the old contractor. And so he's telling me things, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I got it.
No.
And then and then what I do understand is he's like, I'll come back tomorrow, and then he just leaves. And then I think to myself, well, we didn't really figure out a time that you're coming tomorrow, and you don't have my number, and I don't have your number.
I'm just a man in an ice cream
So
suit.
I exactly. So I spend all Sunday just kind of waiting around for the possibility that this man was just going to show up at any point in the day. And so he did eventually arrive. Again, it was just kind of one of those things where I was getting dinner ready, and suddenly I look out the window, and there's the old Asian man walking up the steps, and I'm like, I guess he's here. I guess this is when he said he was going to come over.
While you're eating dinner?
We were about to eat dinner, so I was in the middle of air frying. Shout out to air fryers.
New wave.
So he comes in, he does some other stuff, and then suddenly now the tubes are a little clogged, and he can't unclog them today or that day. So he says, I'll come back this week. And then he leaves. He sprints out of there. And so now I live my life in fear every day of him
What
just
if he's there
showing
right
up
now?
at a random time on a
Abby there?
random day. No. Abby's not there. I'm not there. We never decided a day or time. I don't even know if he has a phone. And the other guy has disappeared. So it's literally like I'm just living in this state where I have no idea when this guy's going to show up. He could show up at any moment.
How much is this costing? Is he even giving you a quote?
So that's also a thing. So the original guy said the most this would cost is $400. It will likely cost much less than this. Now that was before. So now I don't know what it's gonna cost, and I could be in a money pit right now. I'm dying in this, and this is hot as hell. This ice cream costume, but
fine. Just
I'm
power
living
through
in
it.
this weird contractor wormhole. I will keep you updated if anything interesting happens. But for now, who knows when this guy is going to just show up at our place. But let's get started with the show, because we got a lot to get to on this Halloween episode. So before we start the show, now I know I prepared the format for this episode, but I still need you to provide a poem for the start of the show. Yeah. When can I take this off? I might overheat. I see some beads of sweat on your forehead as well.
Listen, we'll take it off like about halfway through the show.
Halfway through the show. Okay.
Yeah, you got some time.
It's like a torture chamber in here. So we'll get the poem. And this is episode 50. Now, I know we did tease the possibility of this being the geography quiz. Well, guess what? We will be doing the geography quiz, but just not tonight. Well, that's going to be coming in a few episodes. We've got listener Caroline, my sister, and Abby, my wife. They are working together on a Google Doc for the geography quiz. This is big time. They're coming up with that, and we have to find a night where Abby can come.
They should do this country is known for this.
Oh yeah, food. I think they're going to go over all the different stuff. So it'll be a good quiz.
I'm not going to get any of it right.
That's going to be coming probably in November at some point within the first couple episodes of the next season. Yeah, we're almost at November. No, not next episode. No. Next episode's Halloween.
It was supposed to be this episode, remember?
It was, but Abby can't come because she's working. And then next episode's Halloween. She's got to give out the candy while I'm here doing the show.
Oh, yeah. You want to hand out candy for us? In that costume? Yeah. With nothing on underneath? We'll get to that. What do you mean we'll get to that?
What's the poem? Tell me the poem. What do you got?
Well, you wasted so much time that it's...
regenerate.
Okay, spouse, a haiku.
Okay.
Snowy afternoon. A potential big spouse sneers in spite of the ant.
Is that a poem about me? Is that like a...
Yeah.
Is that a shot?
Yeah, it's a shot at you.
I'm a big spouse. That's me. I'm a big spouse, ice cream man. Let's start the show with Halloween episode number 50. Here we go.
Ooh.
I'm just going to keep saying the name. It's the Random Word Podcast. You got to understand what that means, right? Yeah. Everything that they do is based on Spy Kids.
I came up with this dick monster.
By the way, look at that bird. That could be on the Random Bird.
Letting the sweet release of death embrace me.
Grab the dustpan! Dog justice.
Dog justice too.
Feel the lure.
Yeah.
Tim's dad has been thrown out of 5 Little League games so far by the local umpire crew here, but...
I just can't quit you, dear. I just can't shoot you.
Can't quit you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, buddy. Wake up. It's time to go. I ordered these from the Baby Gap. Eating a dictionary?
And she kept saying the word heavy.
Hunter, I barely know her. Your Tamagotchi has AIDS.
It's like, how does it have AIDS? Like, so many baby heads could fit in there.
I don't think... Bite my neck like a fucking vampire.
Oh.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's time to waste your time. It's the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
Happy Halloween! And welcome to episode 50 of the Random Word
Is that
Podcast.
that's the accent?
I don't know. It feels like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, we're going to get some Halloween music here. Give me 1 second. But yeah, welcome in the people.
Yeah, welcome in. Okay, don't tell me how to do my job.
Hey, do you mind introducing the show?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You gave me the reins for this 10 episodes. I don't step on your f***ing feet. What?
Little Halloween music.
Welcome in, Rando Nation, to episode 50, the Halloween cast, coming a week early. Don't worry, we will still be wearing costumes on actual Halloween.
All week.
But we
next 7 days.
We wanted to just give you a little teaser, a little taste, and get you in that spooky mood for Spooktober.
You made that sound a little sexual. You're like, that's spooky mood. Yes. Halloween.
We're here for
cast.
frights. We're here for chills.
So I was curious.
Yeah.
I know you're wearing your Wookiee costume. I got my ice cream costume. I wanted to hear maybe the best and worst Halloween costumes growing up on your side.
So... so let's see, best and worst Halloween costumes. I think the best one I had was a Buzz Lightyear costume.
Okay.
So it was like a bodysuit.
I had
Buzz
that costume
Lightyear,
too, and the buttons.
It had the buttons,
And the wings would actually go out.
and they were inflatable wings.
Dude, I have a picture of me in that costume.
Me too. Okay, yeah. So it was the Buzz Lightyear costume. Rocked it. And then I think the worst costume.
There's me wearing the costume.
Dude, I had that same one.
Yeah. Do you have the? Wait, that's you. No, just kidding.
Yeah, dude, same one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a great costume.
And then the worst costume I ever had. What did I wanted something really like. What was that?
This is the
soundtrack?
song's called "Suffocating Ambience." Ambiance.
We were like throwing something together. And I was Indiana Jones.
Ooh.
But all it was a t-shirt, a hat, and a rope.
A T-shirt, a hat, and rope. So
Yeah.
that's.
And no one got what I
I don't
was.
remember Indiana Jones just wearing a T-shirt, hat, and rope.
Well, he had the whip, but
I gotta find a good song.
the rope was the whip, and the only thing that you could even distinguish as Indiana Jones was a hat, and no one got what I was. They were like, "Are you a cowboy?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Are you?"
Kind of, in a way.
In a way. So I didn't really have any like horrific,
Sure.
terrible ones besides that one.
I was trying to think as well. I know one year I was Darth Maul, but half the lightsaber broke, so I only had because Darth Maul had a double-sided
Yeah, of course.
lightsaber, and one of the halves broke because the kid in the neighborhood was like, "Let me play with that," and he immediately broke it. So I was like, "I'm not Darth Maul now. I'm just a stupid regular Jedi."
Sith.
I had Sith Lord. Yeah, I was a Sith Lord. Excuse me. rest in peace. Trying to think. Oh yeah, one year when I had my surgeries, my foot surgeries, I couldn't go walking around. So what my parents did is they put me on the porch, and I wore, and they put me in like a rocking chair, and I had
you wear the
blankets all
scarecrow
over me,
thing?
and I had like a scarecrow mask or some sort of mask on, and I sat extremely still. And it looked like I was just like a dummy, and then, well, I am a dummy, but, and then kids would come up the front step to ring the doorbell, and I would jump out at them and really freak them out. And for a
that's
cripple,
good, yeah.
that was a great prank for me.
Yeah. Let's see. What about like so when you were trick or treating? So we'd go. You bring the pillowcase, right? So you have a
Right.
certain age where you just realize that quality or quantity over quality, right?
Yeah.
You are trying to get as much candy. Dude, this song.
Yeah, it's a Halloween theme song. It's great.
And I remember me and my buddy were just like, yo, why does everyone, like, there's no official start time for trick-or-treating.
No.
Like, there's no
Buzzer.
f***ing rules that everyone's just like, ding, ding, and everyone runs outside. So my buddy was like, hey, why don't we just, like, start super early? And I was like, yeah, cool.
Like 2 o'clock.
We started at, like, it was like 4:30.
That's early.
So we're going door to door.
Jeez.
Some people aren't even home.
No.
Some people are like, and we're like, trick or treat, and they're like,
Kind of smart in a way, though, because you're getting the beginning of the candy.
so they're just rushing to grab candy, and
Yeah.
some of them aren't even putting candy in their bags. They're putting just whatever they have on hand. We got some quarters
Sure.
and some stuff like that. We roll around to this one house. Oh, sounds like I'm about to like talk about a murder thing. And my friend was kidnapped. He
The
opened
death
the
of Jimmy
bag.
Boyle.
Yeah. The death of Jimmy Boyle. Jimmy was an average boy. He loved trick-or-treating.
Did you ever, the buckets where people would leave the buckets of candy and then
Take
the
'em up.
sign would just say, take one?
If you left the bucket out,
You're an idiot.
it was the assumed rule was
Yeah.
it's gone. But so we went to this one house.
Sure.
It was this house on the top of the hill. And we get there, we knock on
It
the
does
door.
sound like you're describing a terrifying story.
We get there, and we knock on the door, and no one answers.
Yeah.
But we keep trying.
Sure.
Because this guy's just like, the buddy I was with, his name was Jack, and he was like, no, they give out the best candy here. I promise.
Were the
They
lights like on at all?
No, you couldn't.
No.
It was 4:30 in the
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
And so he keeps knocking. He's like, no, they always hand out like full-size candy bars. And I'm like, dude, we gotta go. Like,
That's a little scary.
we
at
have
some
to
point.
go. And then he's like pounding on the door, and then the door opens, and there's this guy there, and he's like, I wasn't expecting anyone this early.
Ooh, he gave a little tood.
Yeah,
Little
and so,
attitude.
but he's like, I was gonna give this out to the first trick-or-treater. And so he goes back into his house, closes the door. We're waiting out there. We're like, oh, like
Oh my
maybe we get a
God.
prize or something. And he comes out with a knife. And he
What?
my friend.
Oh, what the hell?
No.
Dude, you had me hooked.
He comes out with was it one of those big like 5 or 10 pound Hershey bars?
Oh, yeah, the giant ones.
Yeah, and just plops it in the bag, and he's like, you guys can split it, I guess.
Oh, my God.
And shuts the door and goes back inside. So starting out, we had a 10-pound weight in the pillowcase.
Yeah.
And then we went on, we just kept going, and like, I must have filled up like a pillowcase and a half.
Jeez.
I've never had that much candy in my life, but we started at 4:30, and it was more of like a hassle because people were like visibly like a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because that's early. That's early.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm going to die. It's all right. We got
Why
what
don't you just take the hood off?
It's a sweat box in there. Felt like I was in a sauna.
Dude, this is the perfect music to do a
movie trailer.
A movie
whatever.
trailer too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
might have to do that a little later in the
Yeah,
show.
we'll have time. We'll have time. But so I let me get to the word real quick because it's gonna kind of fit with the theme of the show a little bit here on this Halloween cast. So let me first give the little word intro, and it's weird because I'm doing it for myself.
Cast.
I'm doing it for myself because I'm gonna give you the
I'm
word.
a ghost.
This is Christopher Walken's ghost. It's a Here we go.
Christopher Walken.
It's my time to shine. Here we go.
You ready?
Macabre.
Macabre.
It is an adjective, and the definition is something gruesome, shocking, or horrifying. Macabre. So what I wanted to ask you was, can you think of a time that you were the most scared that you've ever been in your life? And if you need time to think, let me know, because I have one at the ready on my end.
Most
like
scared
I've
ever
scared,
been.
or just a moment that you can think of that you were absolutely terrified.
Oh, 100%. Okay, so this was a long time ago, so keep that in mind. It wasn't like yesterday.
It was last week.
Okay. So we haven't been back to California in years.
It sounds like you guys are like banned from the state.
Yeah, so in Vacaville, California, we had family there. Still have a few family there, but
Sure.
my uncle lived there, so we would go to visit him we went pretty regularly for a couple of years. And so we go there. I'm pretty young, and it's Halloween, and like it doesn't really get that cold. And
Yeah,
depending where
it's
you
California.
are, Vacaville's a little more northern, but it was
Sure.
still like really warm out and stuff. So not a lot of people were in costumes. But we go to this haunted house, and it was in this giant warehouse, and I think it was like. It's got to be like the origin of like those really scary places because like
those places started popping up
Yeah.
more and more, where they were like, "We will give you a heart attack. You have to sign this
This
waiver."
was like if I had let's see, how old am I now? This must have been like it's been over 15.
You're younger than me.
It's been over 15 years since the incident. So we're there. We're going through. It's f***ing terrifying. I have a history of hating clowns.
Yep.
Chock f***ing full of these
Documented
clowns.
on this show. Of
Yeah.
course, that's the natural.
But what they did at this one part, so it's just like, it's like a haunted house. There are a bunch of jump scares, blood all over the walls. There's this part where you have a guide this time, and the guide's like creepy, and he like is telling you about this place, and then he's like, and we round a corner, and basically at the end of the stretch, those in those big like industrial freezers and stuff, they have those plastic flaps that hang.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like that, and you see daylight on the other side.
Yeah.
And so, but there's a couple other hallways and stuff, and the guide's like, "Well, we've reached the end of our tour," and so what I did, which is what you're not supposed to do. So I was so fucking scared.
Yeah, it's scary in there.
I made a beeline for that exit, and I'm hoofing it. I'm a little chubby small kid.
Yeah.
I'm hoofing it. I get to the flaps. Out of the flaps busts a man wearing the Jason mask, and he has the chainsaw without the blade on it.
Okay.
And so he looks at me and like he starts it, and then right there on the spot, I pee my pants so bad my jeans
This was last week.
changed color.
Wow.
I just immediately peed and screamed and like ran in the other direction.
They did their job.
And I was walking around it was so misleading. Like I got there, the guy busts out. I see a real chainsaw because it is.
Yeah.
And he just like starts pointing at me, walking towards me. I'm peeing left and right. It is a mess.
I've never seen so much urine.
Yeah, and I get back to the group, and the tour guide's like, "Well, we need to go down this hallway," and it went on for like another 20 minutes.
But
and I'm sitting there just being like, I smell like pee.
That gives them so much credibility, though, because now they can be like, "Oh yeah, we made a kid pee last night."
Oh my god, I lost my mind.
That's terrifying. No, I haven't done the haunted house thing. I don't think I would want to do it though, because here's the thing:
There's a couple that are pretty cool.
Because you go in thinking like, I know that none of this is real. They're not going to actually kill me. Like this should be fine.
It's still pretty
but then,
scary,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then when you get in there and you're in the environment and you're immersed in it, it can be pretty terrifying. I'm sure.
I kicked someone in the face
Yeah.
at one of those scare. What do you call it? Like it's not a hayride, but it's like it's not a haunted house.
I know
but it's
what
like
you
a
mean.
haunted like walk.
Yeah.
There was this room full of clowns, and like some of them were hanging from the ceiling, like Suicide style, just like wall to wall body of mannequin clowns.
Ugh, dude.
And then like this, so we were walking in there. Some of them are real. They pop out, and I like flinch and then someone grabs my ankle.
And then you kicked.
From under, and
Like
I
a
turned
braying
around.
bronco.
We signed the waivers,
Yeah.
and I just kicked, and I heard a muffled crunch and scream,
Oh.
and then I booked it out of that room.
Smart.
Yeah, kicked him right in the square in the mouth.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I mean,
I feel like I wouldn't want to work there because like there's gonna be somebody who either one dies? Like,
Yeah.
what if, as part of your job, you scare someone and they die?
Yeah. Hey, they signed the waiver.
They signed the waiver.
sure the waiver says
I'm sure
if
you're
you die.
protected legally,
Yeah.
but like mentally, like I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I'd be like, oh,
That would be a lot. It would be a lot to take in because you're not like
the trick is to stay in character and drag the body away.
That's the move.
And that way they think it's a plant
And then
in
you
the
start,
audience.
Then you start like, then you reach in and pull out the heart.
Yeah,
and then
eat
you're
it
like, oh
right
God,
there.
I didn't know I could actually do this to a human body. Well, you've been to my parents' house before and been in the
In
basement,
the murder closet?
right?
Yeah, murder
so
room.
I will say, growing up,
That is where the grudge-like creature goes and crawls out with the
growing
broken
up,
bones.
the crawl space in the basement was the scariest room in the house. And at one point, I would sleep down there. And like at that point, I was in like high school.
You slept down there for like 4 years.
A long time. And I was in high school at one point as well.
You ever hear any weird noises in there?
That's the thing, is there was definitely a night where, because it's pitch black down there, and there was definitely a night where I was like, I thought I heard noises coming from that room,
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
and I could not sleep like the rest of the night. There was also up in the woods of Michigan, there were two family cabins, and there was a path between the cabins. And at night, it's pitch black. It's the woods. There's no natural light anywhere, and you can't even see the stars sometimes. So it's literally pitch black. And then one night, I was like a teenager, and I was like, I want to go to the other cabin and call my girlfriend or whoever at the time. So I had to go from one cabin to the other. Nobody was with me. And I start kind of walking through the dark, and it's pitch black. And then I start sprinting through the dark because being in total blackness is the total scariest thing on the planet.
Your pace starts to quicken on the path, like
your
when it's
heart
dark,
rate is going
you hear
insane.
You hear a twig snap, and I've done it a million times because like
it's so
near North
scary.
Point and stuff, there's all these paths behind.
Yes.
Yeah, and once it's like absolute like 12 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning, it's pitch black.
It's terrifying.
And, like you just start running.
No.
And you know there's nothing behind you, but you feel like
There
you're
could be.
being chased.
There could be. The woods, to me, is one of the scariest places on the planet. Now, I like going on nature hikes and stuff like that, but the woods...
At night?
Anybody could be out there.
At night, it's someone else's
You have
territory.
no idea.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. It's the animals.
Even
it's
during
killers.
the day,
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm going on hikes, I'm like, what if we stumble upon a like homeless man who has a taste for murder? I don't know.
A homeless man on the mountain with a taste for murder.
It could be true. Macabre.
Macabre.
Macabre is the word. Now, I want to get into a fun little exercise here. We're going to get into Ben's quiz corner a little bit.
All right, we haven't done this for a
Salty
while.
Dalton. So I'm going to just leave the music running in the background here. So this is a Halloween-themed true or false. I've got 10 questions for you. You are going to respond with true
What
or
are
false.
ghosts afraid of?
Um,
The boogeyman. Got him. Look at that face.
you know
That's
what?
all right.
I'm just going to go.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll see myself out.
Well, this is your house, which is funny because I was in the house before you and Ashley because you guys both had traffic and stuff like that. So I was like here alone for a while. So I could have done many things to your house that you wouldn't even notice. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but you'll find it eventually. Halloween, true or false? Are you ready for this?
I am ready.
Okay. Question 1. Let me get a little more upbeat music. This is called that was called Freddy's Nightmare. Oh, good. We'll get a little Ghostbusters music going. All right. Number 1. The first jack-o'-lanterns were actually made from turnips. True or false?
False.
That is true. The first jack-o'-lanterns were actually made from turnips.
So
I don't have any other context, but it's true.
the very first jack-o'-lantern.
Yes.
Was it? You know how fucking small turnips
Okay,
are?
maybe the turnips were bigger back then, and then like
What do you mean? Like gravity changed?
climate change.
That's insane.
It's
No,
true.
because like, well, what about the what is it? Sleepy Hollow. Like, you know how much less intimidating it would be
A turnip head?
if it was holding a turnip in its?
Oh,
it would be
yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
in its arm and it did the horse thing. That's
Look, man,
dumb.
I'm just telling you what the
I don't
world told me.
believe
so
that. I don't
you already
think- I
got
don't
one
think these
wrong.
facts are
I guess
based
you're
on
just
anything.
dumb. The very first American celebration of Halloween was in Ohio, your favorite state. True or
Ohio
false?
State University. I'm gonna go false because Ohio is a weird place for that to start because it started in Mexico, I believe.
Well, yeah, we're talking about in the United States. This is the very first American.
Yeah, I don't think it would start in the middle. If anything, it would start on the
Sure.
edges and work its way in.
Sure. So it is false.
That's right.
But it was in Independence, Kansas, was the first celebration of Halloween. Yeah, Independence, Kansas. Which, if you watch Netflix and Last Chance U, that's where one of the teams comes from, and they do a Halloween-type celebration in the town, a parade, because they were the first town to celebrate Halloween. Boom, roasted. Number 3.
What was it?
Samhainophobia is the fear of Halloween. True or false? Samhainophobia.
How do you spell it?
Samhainophobia is a fear of Halloween.
Can you use it in a sentence?
I have Samhainophobia.
Country of origin?
And I'm scared of Halloween. Is it true or false?
True?
True. True's correct.
Samhainophobia?
Samhain is like another word for like Halloween.
Samhain?
Samhain? Okay, I don't know what accent.
Samhainophobia?
What accent is that? What you would just Samhain?
Samhainophobia?
Samhain. I don't think you pronounce it like Sam Hain. Like, hi, I'm Sam Hain. I'm your plumber. I think it's like
I'm here to fix
it's like Samhain, because I think it's like Irish, isn't it?
Halloween is Irish.
I don't know. In medieval Europe, owls were thought to be witches, and to hear an owl's call meant someone was about to die. True or false?
Hoo, hoo, hoo. No, I don't think someone would die. No, that's
true.
false.
It's true. Owls were thought to be witches in medieval Europe, and
so
if you heard the
anyway,
owl
you
call,
knew
you're
a
like,
bird.
Yep, there he goes. Somebody's dead.
You know how terrifying it'd be to have an owl in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
To be like, woohoo, woohoo. I'd be like, I gotta get out of here.
You gotta get out of the neighborhood. So you're like 50-50 right now. Number 5. According to Irish legend, jack-o'-lanterns are named after a stingy man named Jack, because he tricked the devil several times, was forbidden entrance into both heaven and hell, and was stuck in purgatory.
I didn't know that the devil had the authority to say you can't go to heaven.
This is Irish legend. Your people. What do you think? True or false? Jack-o'-lantern.
I'm gonna go true.
It's true. It's true.
Because
so
they have an urban legend, especially Scottish it's Gaelic and Scottish.
Sure.
Where the Dullahan is a headless horseman.
Okay.
So I feel like those two were connected at some point.
So that's
stingy man named Jack.
Yeah.
So they call it a jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
So is a stingy man named Jack with a turnip who decided to carve out a turnip and stick a candle in it?
I'm not sure where the turnips come into play, but hey, whatever the internet says, I go with. Number 6, Halloween is the third most commercially successful holiday right after Valentine's Day.
Ooh, after Valentine's Day?
That's the question. True or false?
Third most. So what's first most? Christmas, probably.
Yep.
Christmas, Valentine's Day. Ooh, I don't know. Thanksgiving's got to be up there.
What do you think? True or false?
I'll go true. Because they make a killing on Halloween costumes.
False. Halloween is actually number 2 on the
wow.
list. Second most commercially successful holiday. Yeah.
So wait, after Valentine's Day?
No.
You
Christmas. I said Halloween is the third most commercially successful holiday right after Valentine's Day. So
it goes before Valentine's Day.
Yes, correct. It's the second one. But you were wrong. You said true.
Okay, the way you worded that made it seem like
it was completely clear.
No.
Clear.
I think I'm going to call...
Number 7. Trick-or-treating evolved from the ancient Celtic tradition of putting out treats and food to placate spirits who roamed the streets.
False. I believe it is the Mexican Day of the Dead.
It's true.
What?
Trick-or-treating.
Oh, particularly... What? Okay, first of all, Kansas is the first to celebrate Halloween.
Yep.
But Ireland's just sitting over here being like, well, we made up the rest.
No. You were so dumb. I said Kansas was the first American celebration of
I know.
Halloween.
But, like, first of all, it's the Day of the Dead thing, that's a Mexican holiday.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
That's like a Latin thing. But you're telling me that...
I think Day of the Dead and Halloween aren't the same thing.
Oh, maybe they're not.
They're not.
Well, then... No, hold on.
They're not. Do you want me to look up when the Day of the Dead is? Because it's definitely not October 31st.
Look up the origin of Halloween. It's got to be based off of that.
The origin... No, it's not, because those are two different things. The origin of Halloween. Sam Hain. There he is, Sam Hain. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient
Oh, you got
Celtic...
the new iPhone.
Yeah, I did. Ancient Celtic festival of...
You got the Pro?
It's pronounced Samhain.
Did you get the Pro?
11.
That's what Ashley got too. I said get the Pro.
The middle one. I got the middle one. So it's pronounced Samhain instead of Sam Hain.
Samhainophobia?
And the Celts, so it comes from the Celts. It's come an ancient
So this is
Celtic
an Irish
festival.
holiday.
It's an Irish holiday.
Halloween is an Irish holiday. That is insane.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's why we're here teaching people like you who are dumb.
I had no idea that was in my history.
Number 8. We got 3 more. Souling is a medieval Christian precursor to modern day trick-or-treating.
I have no fucking idea. False.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Number 9. Traditionally,
what are we listening to?
this is Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I could. It was low and I couldn't understand what was going on.
I'll switch over to the psycho theme. Traditionally, jack-o'-lanterns were lit with oil to keep them lit for long periods of time. True or false?
True.
False.
Me.
That would be insane. And
What do you mean that would be insane? To keep a pumpkin lit on fire?
If you put oil on the pumpkin, that pumpkin's going in flames, buddy.
Oh, wait. No, I thought you meant like an oil with a wick.
It just said we're lit with oil. That's the only instructions I have on this question.
So you were assuming that they covered the pumpkins in oil and lit on fire?
Kind of. I mean, that would be pretty badass, to be honest.
I mean, it would probably...
Like, if a kid came to your porch and your pumpkin was on fire, that would be awesome.
Oh, they did put out pumpkins in Florida, but they actually can't really put them out until like the day before Halloween because it's so humid there, they melt.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I saw pumpkins at that bar and they were melting.
Yeah, at our, I just remember growing up, you put a pumpkin out and like the next day, Day of Mischief, right? Mischief night would be the night after Halloween.
All
And
the
so
pumpkins
everybody
get
would
smashed.
smash the pumpkins.
You ever partake in that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
I was a good boy. I was a young, good lad.
Oh,
I would
man.
actually, in fact, I'd watch out with my binoculars and catch the criminals that would throw the pumpkin down. I'd have the police on the line. I'd say, you catch those guys. They're on 2 bikes. Halloween, last question, was originally the celebration of the new year. True or false?
False.
No, it's true. It's an
God.
Irish celebration of the new year.
In October?
Okay, I don't know where the October part comes into play. All I know is...
When do you want to start the new year? Oh, I why don't you do October?
That did not go that well for you.
What did you just crumple up?
The true or false, because I don't need that. I didn't give it to you, because I can't just give you the answers. We're going to move into a little fishbowl action here, Salty Dalton.
Yeah, both playing at the same time? They kind of gave it like a spooky tone.
I did.
A spooky tone.
Yeah, every time you say that. Oh, let's do that again. Yeah, it sounds so sexual.
Scary.
It's a spooky, a scary.
Welcome to my fish bowl.
Did you actually come up with one? I know you were busy today.
No.
Okay, well, I'll go first then and let you think of a good idea. It is Fishbowl, the segment where we pitch terrible or useful inventions, ideas, or investment opportunities. Fishbowl. I will go first. I have 1 minute. Salty Dalton, I got a good one. Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Hain, and my idea, my invention. Think about this. Halloween season is upon us. Halloween party season is upon us.
It is, yeah.
There sometimes can get a little overwhelming. Too many Halloween parties to go to. Too many invites flying in like a ghost. Well, guess what? We have a fun little... By the people that brought you the Send a Friend products, we bring you the Send a Friend Halloween edition. Send a friend. We'll send someone to your Halloween party with a similar body type and build in your place. With a mask on,
okay.
The people at the party will never know. You will be able to send a friend 10 pre-recorded phrases using your phone or microphone that will play within the mask of the person. Comment
Getting hot
things
in
like,
here, huh?
Hey, nice to see you. I got to cut out early. I've got another party to get to. Those sorts of phrases. Send a friend, Halloween edition.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask the question.
Sure.
How are you going to... So what if 2 people who are similar in build both book Scare a Friend? What is it?
Send a Friend Halloween edition, because you can use Send a Friend for other holidays.
Oh, okay, so this is your way of pitching more than just Halloween.
Well, but no, this is a Halloween product. Yes.
Right, so if 2 guys of similar height, build, and
Sure.
looks both wanted to use this system, what...
It's a giant library of people.
Yeah, but what do
you
you mean?
enter
What do you
in
mean
your-
a library of people? Are they just on hangers in the back room?
No, you enter in your vitals. 6'2", whatever your weight is. White,
But, like,
black, whatever.
So are the people who are hosting the party aware that this is not you?
No, that's the joy of it because you want to go to that party, but you've
so
got
they
this
wearing
other
a
party.
full
They're wearing a
costume.
costume and a mask. Like I
Okay,
said,
I didn't know they had the mask on.
yes,
you didn't
that's the
mention
whole
it.
point of the product. I said,
Because I was gonna say, I was like, cool. If you send f***ing Ted,
no,
who
I'm not
is
gonna just send Ted and
the
be like,
same-
"Hi, I'm Ben," and like everyone's gonna be like, "No, you're not."
hold on a minute. You play the thing.
No,
Hi, I'm Ben.
No, that's obviously not the invention. The invention is they wear the mask and it's got the 10 phrases pre-recorded. It's got speakers.
Okay,
Right where the
okay,
mouth
like
is.
Dead Mouth.
Exactly. So the person has within their costume, within their gloves, they've got 10 fingers for 10 phrases.
Okay, what do you mean? Why do they have to be in the gloves? Could they not just be on the helmet?
Because if I'm trying to have because it's got to be secretive. You don't want the other person to know you didn't attend the
So what are
party.
you supposed to do? Be like 9
no,
and then
no,
number
no.
9 phrase,
No,
please?
it's like little buttons within the glove. So like
I would hit those all the fucking time.
not with these special gloves. Look,
What's
man,
the criteria for
I can't tell you
activating
the
it?
technology. It's still under patent. But basically, like I would. So I'm. My send a friend is arrived to the party. You're the party host. So I open the door. You're the party host. So what do you say? Like you're the party host. You're not the send a friend.
Welcome to my party.
Hey there. Good to be here.
I feel like they need to be a little bit more Halloween centric. Hey man, looks spooky.
Yeah, that could be one of the phrases. And then,
Oh, dude, you scared me. Great costume.
I gotta run to the bathroom. Does anyone know where it is?
Hey,
Yeah, that's
does
the
anyone
thing.
else need a drink? I'm grabbing one from the cooler.
You've got 10 phrases to use, and then you definitely have to choose I got to cut out early. So you have your 10 phrases, and that can get you through any situation. So you got to narrow it down, and it's a service. You pay for it, and because the send a friend concept, we've kind of discussed it at times on the show about sending somebody in your place, but in this case, it's much easier because they can wear a mask, so they don't have to even look like your face.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty smart, right?
Yeah, I'll probably give it like a solid 3 at a minimum. Right? It's a 3 with a potential for a 4.2.
4. It's 4 for sure.
Well, I don't know.
Because think about it. Now, have you thought of an idea, or are you just gonna
Wing it. Yeah.
You're just gonna wing it? Okay. That always goes well. Hey, everybody. Hand me a pizza roll while you are speaking. I'd like a pizza roll. Thank you. Oh, it's gonna be hot.
You have to restart it though because first of all it was
Oh.
it's full of fucking lava.
What the hell?
All right, let's get refocused up here. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea.
How do they make
Here,
these?
quick, before you talk, you
Just use like a little thing and squirt the sauce in there? How do these get made?
No, they don't.
can't
What
even
do
say-
you mean? You think Ashley was up there painstakingly injecting the sauce into the pizza rolls? No, dude, they were born that way. They started with the sauce, and you put the dough around it.
It's interesting.
Have you not had a Totino's pizza roll? You just said you've had them before.
Did I?
You were like, yeah, dude, I love Totino's pizza
I can
rolls.
love them without having them.
Have you never had pizza rolls?
I love the Nats. I don't play for the Nats.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I can't. You're
throw you-
fucking believable. Welcome in, fishes. It is the spooky time of year. What's
is.
one thing we love to do? We love to scare ourselves. We
Sure.
love to come up with myths, legends, superstition. Fear is a selling point in our economy. We capitalize on it. We make money off of it. And I'm here to bring you a new money-making scheme.
Okay.
It's called Scarogram.
Okay.
Select a friend, a family member that you want to scare. Scarogram will develop a scary situation, a myth, something off the top of their head. I don't even know. Maybe they have an algorithm. And they send it to that person. And it could be like the rings thing. In 7 days, you will die. And over
Okay.
the next 7 days, they are going to have harrowing near-death experiences or see the same specter or ghost every day. It's called Scarogram.
Sure.
Get your scare on today.
I can tell you worked hard on that one.
Yeah, real hard.
So
Right off the dome.
yeah,
The opening sounded really good.
yeah. No, it sounded pretty good because you've said that idea on this show. I'm
No, I
pretty
haven't.
sure. Pretty sure you came up with that.
No, that was the haunted.
You
that-
came up with the haunt me or whatever.
it was the
called.
haunted house that goes to you, right?
Yes.
This is like
This is the same thing.
No, this is basically like the movie The Ring.
Yeah.
So they'll get a videotape in the mail.
Okay.
It'll play this
And
stuff.
they'll be like, I'm not gonna play this videotape
it's
because
gonna
it came in the mail.
yeah, well, okay, maybe it'll be a DVD.
Okay.
But like, it's gonna do that thing, and it's gonna they're gonna make sure that that person sees whatever they're supposed to see throughout the week to get them
It's a lot of
terrified.
It's a lot of work.
It's an expensive service.
Sure.
But it's guaranteed.
worth it,
yeah, because
kind
then that person's going to be like, "Oh my god." And then maybe like the video's like, "You have to pass this off to somebody else or you will die," or something. And they're running around, they give it to somebody at work, and then the person at work pops it in and it's like a DVD of Frozen, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?"
All right, man. You know, I
Scaregram.
appreciate the effort.
Scaregram. My other idea I was running off the top of my head was a costume with stretchy pockets.
Why
so
didn't
that
you use
could
that one?
shove more candy
That's great,
into it.
because the worst part about Halloween costumes is the pocket situation.
There's no pockets.
There's no pockets.
And so this one has stretchy ones. So basically on the back is like a giant kangaroo pouch.
Yeah. That's
and
a fantastic
you shove
idea.
the candy in there.
That would have been a 4-star idea. Instead, you gave an idea that you've already given on the show and pretended like it wasn't. You
and
rebranded
it was called Candy Bag.
Because
I
remember that Halloween party where I went as Captain America. I got skin tight
and I
tights
went-
on, and
Oh.
I've got the Captain America top.
I went as the Breaking Bad guy,
And there were no pockets for me.
and I was wearing the
The yellow suit thing.
yeah, which is actually insulated because it's a real chemical suit.
Yeah.
It was a lake in there. I was sweating out of
Oh,
every
I bet.
pore.
Thank God. I mean, I was in a little better shape back then. I actually looked like Captain America, but there were no pockets. It's just skin tight tights. So I was like, I think I had to hold my phone the entire night. It was Halloween costumes need more pockets. That's my thing. So I'm gonna give you a courtesy noise there, just because you're my buddy. We do the show together.
Wait, so it didn't even get a star? It got a courtesy noise.
It got a courtesy star.
What about my candy pouch idea?
So that would have been a 4-star idea. But
Candy.
you didn't pitch that one.
Candy bag.
I'm gonna put this down for a second here. I will be eating more Tostito Roast, not just one.
There's like 50 on here.
Yeah, it's
She made like 4,000.
I want you to eat all of them.
No. The other day, I didn't know what a serving size was because we had some buddies bring this over, and we drank like 4 bottles of wine.
Sure.
Like 2 weekends ago. I was absolutely crippled by that. Wine hangovers are the worst hangover. And he brought over pizza rolls, and then so we had they sell in bags of 600, so we had a bunch left over. And it was like a really rough day at work, and I was like, we don't have to make dinner. I was like, just pop in some pizza rolls for me. And she made like 22 pizza rolls. A serving is 6.
Yes.
I had 3 servings of pizza rolls.
I bet you felt great.
I looked at it, I was like, oh my God.
But hey, you popped over those pizza rolls. You just gave me my first pizza roll. I appreciate that. I'm gonna
listen back to the beginning of this, and you're like, yeah, pizza rolls, eat them. I love them all the time.
We'll
yeah.
see. I will be listening when I edit
Because you
the
asked
show.
me, you're just like, and I said Totino's. You're like, Totino's. I love Totino's.
So we're gonna come back to do's and don'ts. Let's get to the segment here where I finally get my opportunity to do this segment, Salty Dalton. And
Did you
this
take my title?
will be, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Ben's Incredible Brain Explosion Full Body Learning Experiments. Yes, that is Ben, B-E-N, Ben. This is his segment. He's gonna do it. Nobody else, just him and this live studio audience. Woo!
Yeah, go Ben.
Was it just
It's just one person.
just one person? All right, well,
Yeah.
appreciate that person. I'm excited for this because this is your segment, and you will get to do this segment next time.
Oh, thanks for giving me permission
It'll
to
be
do
yours
my segment again.
But I've got 2 creepy, real Halloween-related stories
Oh, that's
to
what I
tell
was
you.
going to look up. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I've got 2. I'm going to start with the first one here, Salty Dalton. So let me take you to the lovely state of Oregon, sometimes known as Oregon Trail, the video game, but this is just the state, Oregon, some people call it as well. Here's what happened. Julie Keith, 42-year-old woman in Oregon, goes to her local Kmart, Salty Dalton. She is looking to decorate her front yard, and she found a Halloween graveyard kit. Your typical graveyard kit there, where it's like fake headstones and stuff
real
like that.
bodies to bury.
No, not quite. And so she went to her Kmart. She bought the Halloween kit. She's ready to go. She's starting to set things up.
So loud.
She opens up the.
I had the hood on, so it's like.
Oh yeah, it's so
deafening
much better now.
Oh my God.
So she opens up the Halloween kit, and Salty Dalton, she's kind of putting the pieces together, and then there's a note in the Halloween kit, and she's kind of looking through it, and she's like, "What the heck is this?" And it was a letter, and in the letter, the author pleads with the outside world to try to put an end to inhumane work environments and labor camps in China. It says, if you bought this product, please send this letter to the World Human Rights Organization. Thousands of people here are under the persecution of the Chinese Communist
holy
Party.
shit, you mean the person who made it at the factory put that letter in there?
The letter is in English, but it had some Chinese characters in it as well. It was inside the graveyard kit's cellophane interior. It was folded into eighths and stuck in the styrofoam. And it was in a labor camp in China. In Shenyang, China. And the author of the letter says this Halloween toy was made in Unit 8, Department 2 of the Mansana labor camp in Shenyang, China. It says, people here work 15 hours a day with no pay. My friends are dying left and right. Please send help from the Human Rights Organization. Keith takes the letter, posts it on Facebook, and says, what the f*** do I do with this? Not quite her words. The Human Rights Watch actually noticed it, and their response was, we're in no position to confirm the origin of this letter. But this letter seems to confirm some of what we know about these Chinese labor camps, which, again, that's a whole political thing. We don't need to get into that. But the craziness of this was she took it to the local paper. Eventually, they investigated, found this labor camp, and freed the workers in the labor camp.
Did they really?
Because of the letter that they put in her f***ing graveyard kit.
That is that's a seasonal message in a bottle.
It's a Hail Mary.
That's like, you throw it in there not hoping to get them back. He strategically was just like, if that is hardcore. That's some like next level prison breaks.
Think about that. Think about you opening
he's playing the long game.
You opening like a toy skeleton that you're going to hang on your door. A little letter pops out and it's somebody saying, please help me. My friends are dying left and right. I'm at this labor camp in China. Like, what the hell do you do at that point?
I mean, honestly, it's pretty scary too. So that maybe is part of the kit. What if she put that on the front yard?
Yeah, what if she was like, oh, this is part of the deal. Graveyard people dying. Like, I don't know how China ties into this, but sure.
That's insane.
It's a wild story coming from Oregon. So they were able to shut down that labor camp. The next one here is a little scarier, Salty Dog. Now, I thought that was just a wild story. Had to do with Halloween there. Let me take you back to 1974.
Okay.
We are in
I'm there.
Pasadena, Texas.
Okay.
A family sits down for a Halloween meal. Ronald Clark O'Brien is the father, and he's got his wife, Deneen, and 2 children, Timothy and Elizabeth.
Okay.
And they're starting their Halloween meal. And there was another family there. His name was Jim Bates and his wife.
Wait.
Nobody. No, you shouldn't recognize any of those names.
Oh, you said Bates. And I was
not Norman Bates.
I was
from
like,
whoa. So after dinner, the 2 dads, dinner's out. They're going to take the kids trick-or-treating. Candy hunt. So they went through the different houses, and there was one house along the route that was pretty dark. But the kids still rang the doorbell. There was no answer, so they moved on.
That's how you get a 5-pound candy bar.
O'Brien lagged behind, and moments later came running to catch up. He was waving 5 giant pixie sticks, 22-inch straws that were filled with flavored sugar. So the dad went behind, came then from the group, so he lagged behind, and then he showed up with these pixie sticks, 5 giant pixie sticks. He told the kids it was their lucky day because rich neighbors were distributing fancy treats, expensive treats. So each of the 3 children on the walk got 1 pixie stick.
How big were we talking?
22 inches, so big pixie sticks.
Oh, I remember those.
So, big ones.
Yeah.
So 3 kids, they all got a pixie stick. Later, O'Brien gave the 4th to Bates's other child, his 5-year-old daughter, his neighbor's 5-year-old daughter. Now, the final pixie stick went to a trick-or-treater who rang the doorbell. So the 5 pixie sticks have all been given away. And then O'Brien heads back to their home, Deer Park, Texas. And he told his kids, hey, guys, before bedtime, you can have 1 treat before bedtime. Timothy, his son, chose the pixie stick, but stopped after the first taste, saying it was bitter. Timothy's dad offered him some Kool-Aid to wash it down. Moments later, O'Brien heard the boy crying, Daddy, Daddy. It seems like it wasn't long before he was up and complaining his stomach hurt, and he didn't feel good. He was bent over vomiting, and I was holding him when he just went limp, O'Brien told the Associated Press. We thought we were so careful. We had even wondered if he should go out trick-or-treating this year. There isn't going to be any more trick-or-treating for us. An autopsy found cyanide in the boy's body.
Oh, he died?
Enough cyanide to kill 3 grown men. Examination of the pixie stick showed that someone had opened the tube and replaced some of the candy with poison. Then the tube was stapled shut. One of the children who had gotten a tainted pixie stick had been tempted, but fell asleep before they managed to actually eat it. The other tubes were recovered before any child tried to eat the contents. But here's the thing. So O'Brien tells this story to the police, and they're starting to get a little confused about this story. Saying, so where did you get these pixie sticks? You said it was at some house. You went behind, and then you showed up at the pixie sticks.
Wait. Dude, the music is matching this story so well.
Police became suspicious of his story, and again, he said he rang the doorbell at that dark house that they stopped by. And the man thrust 5 pixie sticks at him, he said. He said he saw nothing but a hairy arm. It turns out that the man who lived at that house was an air traffic controller, and he had 200 people vouch for the fact that he was at work at that time that they said that he gave out the pixie sticks. So he wasn't there. They start digging. Salty Dalton, they start digging into O'Brien's background and come up with some startling facts.
Lay it on me.
O'Brien, he was an optician. He worked for the Texas State Optical, was $100,000 in debt. He had lost his home and was on the verge of losing his car. He was also about to lose his job because his bosses had discovered he was stealing. In the decade before the crime, he had been booted from 21 other positions.
21 jobs?
21 jobs.
That is
a blackjack of jobs.
21 red flags for any organization.
To top it all off, investigators learned that he had taken out about $60,000 in life insurance on his children. Police speculated O'Brien had planned to kill his kids for the insurance money.
He's got, 5 kids? He had 5 pixie sticks, so...
Within days, O'Brien was under arrest for the murder of his son. Detectives were never able to pin down the source of the cyanide, but several witnesses at O'Brien's trial in May of 1975 told of his interest in obtaining the poison and how much it would take to kill. Little suspicious, guy asked around, hey, you ever dealt with cyanide? How much would you say it would kill to, like, a 5-year-old?
Like, you're a ballpark, a good number, a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons?
His sister-in-law also said that at the boy's funeral, the grieving dad mused about using the insurance money to take a long vacation. So at the funeral of his son, he's going like, God, this is so sad. Man, Should I go to Aruba? Or,
you think Cabo would, like...
Cabo?
Might take all the sadness out. That's fucking bonkers.
The jury took 46 minutes to find O'Brien guilty.
Oh, you know he was done.
And worthy of the death penalty. They're talking about Texas here.
Hell yeah.
Appeals dragged on for nearly 10 years.
What?
O'Brien maintained he was innocent to the end. On March 31st, 1984, the Candyman, as he was dubbed, had his last supper of steak, French fries, peas, and Boston cream pie before his execution by lethal injection. As the sentence was carried out, demonstrators in Halloween masks stood outside the prison yelling, "Trick or treat."
That gave me chills. That last line right there. Ooh, that's bonkers.
Insane.
Like,
insane.
That's already a weird thing to do. Like, 5 pixie sticks. Like,
the Candyman, bro. The Candy Man.
So if you were a killer,
yeah,
or like you were some kind of murder or something like that, like basically what you do determines like your nickname.
It does.
You know, like
remember watching Dexter, the Icebox Killer,
the
Trinity Killer,
So like, I don't. What would yours be?
Well, let's see. Shut off the podcast if you're the police. That's the thing. I mean, I'm not saying like I've thought about this.
Like, what if you push someone down the stairs routinely? Like, what would be your name? Like,
then you're the
stairwell stepper,
the 10-step killer or something.
10-step killer only on staircases of 10.
Yeah,
dude.
It's think about that. Imagine being that man's wife. Like, finding out that your husband poisoned pixie sticks. That's crazy.
Like, it just even objectively, 21 jobs in 1 year.
Yeah, a lot of red flags.
Like, and then asking about cyanide.
Yeah.
And if I was the life insurance, really the life insurance company should have been like, oh, you want to...
seems weird. Life insurance policies on your 5-year-old?
You want to insure your kids for your $60K each? Yeah, I think that would probably cover it altogether. Cover what? Nothing.
Yeah, by the way, do you know anything about cyanide?
Yeah, do you guys cover cyanide? Do you cover poisonings?
Yeah, what about if they're murdered? I mean, what if they die? What if they die?
What if my kid ate some candy and died? Would you pay out for that?
It's a wild tale.
I cannot believe at the funeral he was like, oh, man.
Yeah,
I know. You know what I should do in his memory?
Yeah.
Just go to Sandals.
I hear Sandals
I should just go to
is great
Sandals.
this time of year.
Go to Jamaica, do something.
So you're the dad. You're the dad. I'm at the funeral. Like, condolences, Patrick. I mean, that's got to be tough losing a kid at this age.
It's tough. It's gonna be quiet around the house.
Sure, I can imagine.
I don't know. Sometimes I think about getting away from it all.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't know. I was looking in Travelocity and I found some really good flights to Iceland and the UK.
Oh. Wow, that's pretty far.
For a couple week little stint out there. There's a really great resort out that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best way to honor his memory is to have fun.
He was really into resorts?
Yeah, he loved to have fun.
Yeah, he loved Iceland.
I just think
one of his favorite countries.
Maybe make it a memorial trip. I think that's just what he would want.
You got a couple droplets of something on your jacket. What is that? Kind of looks like what?
It's pixie stick.
Oh.
I haven't taken off the shirt since he died.
Yeah. Dude, the wild thing about that was that one kid fell asleep before they were going to try the pixie stick. Otherwise, they would have died. Imagine living with that for the rest of your life, knowing like, oh, I could be dead right now if I had ate that piece of candy. Do you just swear off candy at that point? Do you become the healthiest person on the planet? Or do you eat all the candy? Just like, I dodged death once.
There's something similar to this. Must have been in the 80s or something.
Sure.
It was called, and see the names, like, they were called the Tylenol Killer.
Ooh.
And so what they would do is, I think it was the pharmacist guy, he was found guilty of doing this, but the killer's been caught, but he would go in and tamper with bottles of Tylenol, and he would mix in, I don't know if it was cyanide pills or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So there were a couple bottles, he might have done this at the distribution plant.
Sure.
And so... I think he worked there, and I'll get the whole story on him because I think we could probably do a segment on some stuff like this. He would basically put these poison pills mixed in with the Tylenol, and it would be distributed out. And so like it wasn't like a mass thing, but it was just like someone had a headache or a sore back, and they would
dead.
Take some Tylenol, instantly die, and they had no idea what was causing it.
Jeez.
And so Tylenol had to do this huge recall, lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Jeez.
And now they take like tampering stuff like super serious. So like
serious.
There's this chick I saw went all over Facebook. She would go into stores, open up ice cream and spit in it and put the lid back on.
Too. Disgusting.
And she got like 20 years of jail time for tampering.
Yeah.
And people are like, why are they so harsh? And I was like, well, one, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's the grossest thing I can ever think of.
Yeah. And two, the Tylenol Killer is why.
That's
because
why.
They're
the
super serious about
Tylenol Killer,
it.
man. Yeah. Let's get into some do's and don'ts here.
Wrigley, shut up.
There we go. It's like you were yelling at the same time as our boy Shia. Shia LaBeouf.
Are you even going to eat any pizza rolls?
I'm going to. Do's and don'ts. Salty Dalton, this is the segment where we give do's and don'ts, of course, to some events. These are Halloween themed. And let's start with number 1. Giving out Halloween candy. First of all, don't give out cyanide-laced pixie sticks. That would be a good do. But anyways, do's and don'ts for giving out Halloween candy. So next Thursday's Halloween. Have you guys bought your bag of candy yet?
No, I need to go out this weekend, and I am going to load up.
So what's a do? What's a do for those who are giving out Halloween candy?
So, I mean, like, over the last couple of years, I've seen a decline in participation, costumes. You know, people are just, some teenagers coming to the door just wanting some free candy.
Yep.
And I need to see effort. I need to see that you actually care about this holiday. So one thing I started doing is, and what you should start doing is basically you give out candy in proportionate to how into the costume they are.
Yeah.
So if it's just a t-shirt that says, "This is my costume," guess what? Here's one fun Snickers bar, asshole.
Terrible.
And I see a kid come up and he's wearing like a full-on Power Ranger suit. I'm like, here's 6 handfuls.
I didn't realize the Power Rangers. Oh, so I imagine a Power Ranger wearing a tuxedo.
But with the helmet?
Yeah, with the helmet.
That would actually be pretty good. If I see like a full-on crazy costume, I'm going to give them a big handful in front of the other kids. And the other kids come up.
Make
and
a show of it. Yeah.
I'm like, here's 1, here's 2. And they're like, this kid got like 50, but he's wearing a costume.
Put in the effort, people. It's all about effort on Halloween.
Also, say trick or treat, because I've opened the door and kids just go and hand me the thing, and I'm like,
gotta say it.
You gotta say it. I make them say it because
dance monkey dance.
Because they're just like, give me bitch, and I'm like, no. And I even had this girl. Was given a handful towards the end. I had this girl reach back into her bag and pull out 2 pieces of candy. And go, I don't like these. Can I have different ones? And I went.
Oh my god!
And I took it was 2 Laffy Taffies, and I took them out of her hand.
Classic candy. Yeah.
I took them out of her hand. And I said no, and then I closed the door because, first of all, I'm giving you handfuls of free candy, and you go, oh man, I don't like these too. Let me get a quick exchange program for this.
That's not what this is. This isn't the needle exchange. You're not giving back needles because you're on heroin.
What?
I mean, this is
needle. Hold on, what?
The needle exchange.
What's the needle exchange?
That's where in the cities will be like, look. We know you guys do heroin. You can turn in your needles
to give them,
and we're not going
to
give them exchange it for so that you can turn in your disgusting
sanitary.
Exactly.
So I can see how that would cut down on the HIV and stuff like that. But at the same time, like
they're still doing heroin, yeah. And they're like, we're not even looking at you. We can't prosecute you criminally. Just exchange the needle. And they're like, oh, I've seen that guy before. He does heroin. But yeah, so it's just like that, but it's with candy.
That's insane.
So I'm playing off that as well with my do. It's similar to the idea of making them work for it a little harder. This will only work if you have a window above where your front door is. So when they ring the doorbell, instead of opening your door and with a Happy Halloween, you've got the bowl, you open up your window, and with the bowl, you go Happy Halloween, and you kind of look out, you're like, what are you doing down there? And then they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm here for the candy. You'll be like, okay, here's the candy. And you have the bowl there. And those who really want the candy will find a way up there to get the candy. Say, if you climb up here, I'll give you the whole bowl. And then if they fall, you're not liable for anything because you don't live in that house. That's your next door neighbor's house. You broke in. You tied them up. You put them in the basement. You're up in their second floor window while the pipes are leaking everywhere. And then, so that way you're not liable. So it's kind of elaborate.
Okay. Yeah. So basically that was stick the bowl of candy out your window and don't open the door.
I do. Don'ts. What do you got for don'ts?
Don't hand out candy.
I'm not showing off my shoes. I'm just stretching.
They're very light. Are those new?
Yeah, they are new, but my legs hurt a lot from yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
Oh, God.
Don't hand out candy. Shoot candy.
Ooh, God, man. You got some good ones right now.
Get yourself a pressurized t-shirt cannon. I don't care. Maybe a slingshot. But they knock on the door. You hear that familiar ding dong.
Sure.
Trick or treat. And you go trick. And you just fire candy into the air.
That's true. People never call the trick or treat. People never do the trick. It's always the treat.
What are you supposed to do if they say trick?
Trick. You're adopted.
Am I supposed to have like because you're supposed to prank them if they say trick?
Yeah.
And like, am I just supposed to have like a whipped cream pie behind my back?
And just like in their face.
Like pie him in the face.
You asked trick or treat.
Yeah. Or what do? Do you just look him in the eyes and slap a grown man? Like just pop.
You just kill their dad.
Basically, fire candy, throw candy, launch it from a slingshot, make it more engaging to the crowd.
I gotcha.
Maybe don't pass out any candy, but say once 15 kids are outside this door, I will unleash candy upon them. And so you get all these kids, they're excited, they're like counting it out, and then you get all 15, and then you kick open the door and you just fire candy into their chest. Like, you ever see a Snickers go 80 miles an hour? You're about to.
I think that's the way to do it. I also think if you are giving out Halloween candy, so a don't for giving out Halloween candy. Well, I would say don't be the guy, obviously, that just leaves out the bowl with the sign that says, take one. Instead, be the guy that leaves out 3 bowls, and in 2 bowls is a tarantula, and in 1 bowl is the candy. And you leave a sign above it and say, in one of these bowls is the candy, but you can only try once.
I kind of like that.
Make your choice. And then they reach in. If it's the tarantula, then they don't get any candy.
I thought you were about to say, then they die. I'm like,
And
no,
then they die.
They can't.
It's a poisonous snake or tarantula. They reach in somewhere, and then they have to suddenly just you didn't get the candy. You had to make you make a game out of it. You know? Don't make it just standard. Here's your candy. You knocked down my door. Make it become a challenge.
They got to work for it. Yeah,
they got to work for
it. I like it.
Next one, going trick or treating. So let's give this advice to our younger listeners out there.
What's the oldest that you trick or treated?
God, I mean, I stopped pretty early, but I knew kids that went for like 15 years. Probably you. I stopped at like 11.
I remember. I think it was like, well, okay. So our purpose wasn't to go trick or treating.
Sure.
But we ended up playing Ding Dong Ditch.
Oh, okay.
But we were like really hungry after we were skating, and this might have been like freshman year of high school.
Oh yeah, the skater.
Or maybe middle school, but we were just like, it was probably middle school, and
Sure.
we're like, oh yeah, we're hungry, and we're like, dude, it's Halloween. So we start going up, knocking on doors, trying to get candy. And I was like, and halfway through, we stopped caring about like what we were supposed to be doing, and we were just like, yo, let's get more candy. And we like turned back the time. We were just like, oh, we thought we were kids again. Then we played Ding Dong Ditch,
man.
and I got ditched by everyone who was ding dong ditching because I wasn't paying attention.
The ditcher got ditched.
So they were ringing the doorbell, and you just hear from inside someone go, "Please stop! I've already called the police."
Oh my god!
Yeah. And I'm just walking up into this because we'd done like another house of the block. I'm just catching up because I was eating some candy.
Yeah.
And I walk up and I hear that, and I hear like, if you do like, I've already called the police. I'm armed. Like, please stop.
Oh my god!
And so
suddenly a shotgun shell burst through the front door.
Everyone starts running, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the cop lights come in the neighborhood.
Oh god!
And I'm like, I'm left holding the buck here.
Dude.
So what I did was I dove into the person's front yard bushes, and I laid on the mulch
for 2 weeks.
No, and the officer came up and he opened the door. He's talking to the.
It'd be funny if he came up, immediately saw you, was like, "Hey son, what are you doing down there?"
This was like thick bushes. And he's like shining the flashlight over. He shines it over the bushes. It's
oh
like,
my god!
It's like I'm in Prison Break.
Jesus Christ!
I'm lying
Dude,
there.
the heart must have been racing.
I could have sworn he could hear me breathing like, and I'm lying there, and he like shines the flashlight over the bushes, talks to the guy. The guy's like, "These kids, there's a bunch of them. They ran off that way. They were ringing my doorbell. You need to do something about it." The cop like radios in, tells another unit, and they've got a couple in the area for it's Halloween.
Yeah.
And so the guy starts walking off, and so I'm just lying there. I'm like, how do I escape? So I like poke my head up, I get out of his bushes, I start going, and then I hear like, "Hey, stop!" And the cop's at the bottom of the street. He turns, he shines the light on me.
Oh,
I start running.
God.
I start running, and I cut into the woods, and I'm running through the woods. I'm tripping. I dive into more
Meanwhile,
bushes.
the cop probably, realistically, as soon as you started running, he was like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah.
But you thought he was like getting the hounds together,
I
start
thought
chasing
this
you.
was like
Here's a scent, boy. Go after him.
Yeah, and I dive into another set of bushes on the side of the road. Another 2 cop cars pass because I don't think both were going to that particular one, but like
you thought it was a manhunt.
They had their lights on. Yeah, I thought
helicopter goes above.
I thought I was dead to rights.
Stop.
All my friends ditched me,
Yeah.
and I was just like, so I'm covered in mud. I'm scratched up. I army crawl out of there.
Jeez.
I get on my skateboard. I go back to my house. I walk in the front door. I'm all cut up, and they're like, "What happened?" And I was like, "You see anything on the news?" I was like, "Hey, did any cops come by?" And
I
they're
had
like,
to kill 3 people to
what
get
are you
here.
talking about? And I was like, "Oh man." And I immediately called my friends. I was like, "Hey guys," and they're like, "Oh, did you get caught?" And I was like, "No, you f***ing jackasses."
Jeez.
I like it.
That's
that was
terrifying.
like at the start before I stopped hanging out with them. But
So what was the do for that? What was the do for going trick or treating? That was a great story though. That was great. Excellent.
The do is oh man.
Don't ding dong dish, or that would be a do.
Don't.
The
do is do something unexpected when they open the door.
Sure.
In order to get more candy, sometimes you can do tricks. You can say something funny, or you can maybe try to scare them.
Start doing like a stand-up routine.
What I like is the counter scare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so you ring the doorbell.
Yeah.
You're hiding on the side of it. They open it up and they're like, "That's weird.
Who's
no
there?"
kids."
Yeah.
And maybe you knock on the window next, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
You ring the doorbell again. They come out. They're like, oh, "Okay." You pop out. You scare them.
Yeah.
You take the candy and you run.
And you run. No, that's good. That's a good do. My do is, if you find in every neighborhood, there's the key house. There's the house that has the best candy, the full-size candy bars. They're giving out the best things. All you really have to realistically do for Halloween is locate that one house. Because guess what? You don't have to go to any other neighborhoods at that point. All you really need is about 9 or 10 different costumes. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go up, maybe squat a little bit so like they can't exactly judge your height. Go up into one costume, get the candy, turn around, change your clothes, come back up. And then after you go through there 9 or 10 times, you've got all the best candy you need. You're good to go for the rest of the night. It's foolproof. Think about that, kids.
I like it.
All those kids listening to the show. What about a don't? What should people avoid when they're trick-or-treating besides the police?
Don't spend your time hitting a billion houses.
Yeah.
No one wants to walk that far. It's tough. You got to lug around a huge candy bag. So what you got to do is you have to trade your way up in the food chain. So you're going to get a pillowcase. You're going to stuff it full of maybe, it's got to be believable. So maybe some gravel, some weird shaped stuff, some styrofoam. It doesn't want to be too heavy, but then you're going to cover the top layer in candy.
Okay.
And you're going to go up to trick-or-treaters and say, guys, I have way too much. And you show them the top layer.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll trade you for whatever's in your bag right now. Like, just give me your bag. I'll give you mine.
Very smart.
They're looking at that. They're like, I'm getting like 50 pounds of candy out of this transaction. They take it in a heartbeat. You've just gotten a full neighborhood of trick-or-treating without even leaving your neighborhood.
That's genius.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really great idea. Jeez. My don't would just be like when you're planning out your costume, you got to be, you also got to think about what you're going to be wearing, especially if you're going to be walking around doing, gathering candy. You don't want to wear some giant crazy costume if you're going to be walking around. My suggestion would be dress like an Olympic sprinter and then sprint from house to house.
I like it. Yeah, aerodynamic.
Get things done in about 45 minutes.
High speed, low
drag. Get as much candy as you need. And my other possibility was going to be you could, kind of similar to yours would be, though, but you're tricking the people that are giving out the candy. Put like really great candy on the top of your bag, and when they open the door, and if you don't really like the candy, be like, oh, that's all you have? The next door neighbor gave me these. Huh. And then you kind of shame them a little bit. And they're like, all right, fine. I guess we have some better stuff in the back. They go in there, and they give you the full-size candy bars. That's genius. It's genius. Before we wrap up oh, wait. Are you getting that call?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I haven't seen this number in a while. Hello, Random Word Podcast.
Dad?
Good morning.
Oh, it is the call center. Oh!
Good morning.
I think I printed out 2 call centers. It's a separate sheet. So we've got 3 call centers to blow through here before we end this Halloween cast. First, we'll start with Daniel, 29 years old. Subject line is boo! Happy Halloween. Did that scare you, by the way? Boo. Did that scare you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Jesus, you just turned into a ghost in front of me.
Sorry about that, man. Daniel says, Happy Halloween, RWP. In the spirit of Halloween, I am experiencing a bit of a spooky problem. At night, I hear what sounds like bones rattling outside of my room and occasionally see what looks like a floating head in my bathroom mirror. Should I investigate further, or am I just slowly going insane? That's Daniel, 29 years old. What is our advice to Daniel here? So he's hearing some bones rattle. He's seeing some floating heads. What do we do here for Daniel in this situation?
I think in this situation you go for a power move, right?
Yeah.
So these things
cut off your head.
Yeah. These things are maybe trying to scare you, right? Every time you see it, instead of kind of freezing up, what you should do is just yawn and be like. Or like,
okay.
That's pretty bad special effects. Or be like, I've seen scarier. And you have to shame
the ghost.
The ghost into leaving or stepping up their game. And if they step up their game, you have a money-making revenue. You've seen the show Ghost Adventures?
Yeah.
They've never actually seen a ghost.
Never.
But you have one that's trying extra hard to
make
get
a lot of cash
your attention. Maybe take one Facebook video.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
you're
sell the house,
millionaire.
It'll go for millions. The house will go for millions.
Yeah, you got to advertise that as being a ghost house for sure. The alternative was my original suggestion, where you just got to be scarier than what you're experiencing. So if there's a floating head in the mirror, you cut off 2 people's heads and you hang it up in your house, and then the ghosts are like, whoa, dude,
buddy.
We were just messing around here, man. You got the next one here, Christy?
Christy, she's 40, and subject is Sugar Rush. Hey guys, I'm tired of giving out candy every Halloween. Okay, slow down, ho. I'd like to try something different. What are some different objects I can give out this Halloween? I can tell you what you can't give out, and that's fucking raisins and toothpaste and toothbrushes, because I know it's funny.
I got pretzels one time.
Yeah, and I know you think you're being like, well, you're getting nothing but candy. It'd be like
apple slices and stuff like that.
Guess what? I'm not out here beating the streets. I'm not out here working the 9 to 5 to get a pack of raisins.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's nature's candy. Give me candy developed by humans who want to hurt my heart. I need the sugar.
Yeah,
I've had someone give me those. I've gotten a toothbrush, I've gotten floss, and I've gotten raisins.
Yeah.
And I hate raisins so much.
Raisins are gross. They're just disgusting grapes. And I like grapes, but I don't like raisins.
If you drop a toothbrush into my bag, I'm going to take it out and give it back to you.
But Christy, she wants to give out different objects. So those are the objects she should not bring in. I would say, Christy, it depends on the type of career that you're pursuing, but I'd say here's an idea. You got to print out some business cards. And then every child that comes to your door, you give them a candy, but you also give them your business card. You say, when you get home to mommy and daddy, go ahead and give them this business card. And that way, that's called networking, people. It's called networking. So that would be my suggestion.
I think you should give out, if you don't want to buy candy, right? It costs a lot of money.
Sure.
Go to your local FedEx or Kinko's and make a bunch of copies of a coupon that says good for 2 large candy bars next Halloween.
And then you move.
So it's you're building the interest. So you're passing these out, and you're gonna be, and you just go, hey, guess what? You come here next year, you present this coupon. I'm gonna give you 2 giant candy bars, and then you keep passing those out.
Yeah.
You're building a lore. You're building a myth, and then just don't be home for that Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Just move or take a vacation during Halloween. That's very smart.
You don't have to pass out any candy. You can just freaking. You have a bowl full of these coupons, and you get them really excited for next year.
I like it.
You're procrastinating.
Christy, this is our advice to you. Final one, Bob here, 34 years old. Bob says, in the age of offense, I'm trying.
I read that as offense. In the age of offense, we need a
defense. I'm trying to not wear a Halloween costume that could get me in trouble 20 years from now. What type? So I think
he's 34 and he's worried about getting in trouble when he's 50?
Well, I think he's saying in the age of social media, when you're younger, a picture gets taken, and 20 years from now, you get in trouble for it later on.
I mean, are you wearing just a banana hammock, Bob? Like,
I think
he's
talking about
sexy nurse costume?
maybe like racy things, like Justin Trudeau wore blackface. You've got some other like mayors and stuff wearing black. Well, I mean, avoid blackface for sure.
Blackface is probably number 1 on the list to not do. If anyone says, let's paint our faces, and if anyone introduces...
What color do you have in your palette? Let's see, I've got yellow, can't
green.
Do that.
Well,
orange.
Jeremy's got green. Joe has red.
Yeah, what is...
I've got blue, and I think Christy's doing yellow, and
I think the only one we have left is black.
So are you okay with
that? No. So what type of costumes should he avoid if he's trying not to be offensive 20 years from now? So we said blackface is probably something to avoid.
Wearing the sheets. Ever since the KKK, that stuff went right out the window.
They've just ruined that for everybody. I mean, this ice cream costume could easily pass. I could walk into a meeting, I'll just be like, hey guys, and they're just like, what are you doing here? Not that I know where these meetings happen.
We're here for the...
This isn't
the Kick-Ass Carl's Creamery ice cream meeting.
This isn't
KKK for
This
short?
isn't the Kit Kat Club.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, this is not that.
That'd be funny if you walked into the KKK meeting,
but not knowing it was a meeting,
with armfuls of Kit Kat bars. Guys, am I late? Oh, was this not the Kit Kat meeting?
Oh,
and you should do that every month,
every time
with something
just to troll
different.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or go find like KKK like Facebook groups and just post pictures of Kit Kats and be like, God, I love this stuff too, guys. And they're just like, what are you? No, we're not talking about that. And you're like, God, this milk chocolate. And they're like, don't say chocolate. Because they're racist.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. I told you about the Chocolate City thing, right?
Yes, yeah. That was great. Great story. And then we got into the whole...
I still think about that today.
Yeah. So
that was the first thing that came out of that man's like, oh, yeah, the big Chocolate City. I was like, what?
Yeah, Abby and I listened to that episode on the way down to Florida.
Did you?
It was fun. No KKK outfits, no blackface. Any other costumes you should probably avoid to not get in trouble later on. I'd say the slutty nurse stuff is kind of out of the window for the most part. I think people are kind of starting to, not that you can't wear that.
I would probably avoid a lot of political stuff too. So don't dress up as Harambe.
Yes.
Or the kid from Harambe.
Don't dress up as a famous dead person. Would probably, like somebody that just recently died. Would probably not be a great... But then again, it's 20 years from now, he's saying. Still, you want to avoid... You want to be a little tasteful.
Right. Maybe avoid, like, John Wilkes Booth costume.
Sure.
Lee
and then,
Harvey
like,
Oswald.
your friend's, like, really tall. And you're just always like, I gotcha. Anytime he's like, do you want to go to the movies? And you're like, do you mean the theater? And then, that could get...
I don't know, man. I mean, like...
Wear whatever you want. Just because here's the thing, you're wearing a mask, nobody will know it was you. Just don't wear something that somebody could take a picture of and be like, oh yeah, that's Bob. That's Bob for sure. You gotta, if you're gonna wear something offensive, which we're not saying you should do, but if you do, make sure it's something that covers your face.
Yeah, or like probably stay away from like gloves with dicks for hands.
Oh, the dick hand gloves.
Yeah, because then
dress as one of the thumb people.
Because like you don't want to be touching
yeah.
anyone else, and God forbid, like a kid comes to your door and you reach into the candy bowl.
Ooh, with the dick thumbs.
With the dick thumbs.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God.
So that's probably not a good one.
The police are here, and you're hiding in the bushes. Why is this giant dick hiding in the bushes? So yeah, Bob, just you know.
You're 34. You're a grown ass man.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
I mean,
dress up as however you want, Bob. Why are you still dressing up?
I don't know how this question made it in. Honestly, it's a pretty dumb question.
Okay, yeah, pretty bad. Somebody wasn't like pressing for time before they had to leave from work.
It's not great. I mean, we've had better.
Oh yeah, interesting. So that is episode 50. Man, we've done 50 of these suckeronis. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
50 episodes. We're not quite done. Because people, here's what's coming up next on the docket. Oh, as I break the microphone.
We'll be at the Laugh House from 8 to 9.
Oh, yeah, we'll be down at the DC Improv.
Yep. We will be...
Live podcast from the from Jiffy Lube Live.
We'll be opening at the Kennedy Center for a bigger podcast called Let's Talk Sports for the DC area.
Absolutely.
That's only second to DC crossover in my mind,
Absolutely.
my heart.
We'll see you on
Clear eyes,
Conan
full heart,
next week.
Can't lose.
Next week, it will be the best of episodes 41 through 50. Yes, the best of is coming up.
Any Totino's pizza
I'm going to eat one after we finish the show. I promise.
One? There are 50. Eating one is like having a vitamin.
I just want to see you eat them all. So the best of episodes 41 through 50 will be released next week. I got to get started on that. There goes my weekend. And then we'll have an exactly. There'll be an episode up the week after that, and then we'll get into some geography quizzes and figuring that out. But the next season, man, starts in a few weeks. So we got to come up with some new things for next season. That's your job.
New things for next season. Why don't we iron them out now?
Okay, so I'd say I want to do a naked cast where we sit here naked for the whole episode.
We can blur
and then
that
I can
out,
do like the blur out stuff. Tilly cast where we get Tilly on the microphone.
I think it should just be Tilly and Wrigley sitting
on these chairs with the headphones on.
Yeah. And then that's just it.
And then I can put subtitles at the bottom.
Oh, that would be pretty fun.
That would be pretty fun. We do got to get another guest in or recurring guest, somebody from our past. We'll see.
We'll bring on Pat Fish again.
Yeah. He'll hop on here. We'll tell some more Salty Dalton growing up stories. Maybe one day your dogs will stop barking. We'll see. In the background. And we'll have some other stuff up our sleeves as well as the geography quiz coming up in a couple weeks from now. Salty Dalton, 50 episodes in. Man, let me just, before we close out here.
A journey.
I'm going to recap. I'm going to tell you, not recap each episode, but I'm going to read the titles.
We're going to read verbatim.
I'm going to read you the titles of the last, of 41 through 50. And I'm going to see if you remember some of this. So we did Inkling, was episode 41. Then Catbird Seat, episode 42. 43 was Lookism. 44 was Splendiferous. 45 was Cacophony. And then we hit our 1 year anniversary show. That was for 56 was the 1 year extravaganza.
Oh, where we recapped the first episode.
Yeah. That was a great time. 47
Wait,
was
like that?
no. 47 was
What was the tone there?
Nothing.
Was that not a good episode?
No, it was a great episode.
I didn't listen to
loved it.
No, I don't think you did. Though.
47
Oh,
was...
that was the one where you...
Yeah, where I'm angry at you about that. 47 was
Wait,
Rip Snorter.
You're angry about...
No, I'm just kidding.
No, you took the show. Like, you had the whole show planned out, and you didn't tell me what was going on.
So we had Rip Snorter, and then we had Bibliophile, a little Chris Hansen talk.
Oh,
and then
that was one of my
great.
favorite bits we've done.
That was great. And then 49 was
What do you think
Cat's
you're doing?
Paw.
Hey, I'm Chris Hansen.
And tonight's
What are you doing
episode was Macabre, episode 50, the HalloweenCast / Macabre.
Hey, it's me, Chris Hansen. How
Be
you doing?
sure. God, that was a great bit. I love Chris Hansen talk. I could talk about Chris Hansen all day, to be honest.
What are you doing here? I'm Chris Hansen.
Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the iTunes, or not. I mean, we don't really give a shit about any of that
We
stuff.
haven't really got any good reviews in a while.
Yeah.
Make them fun.
Yeah, Rando Nation, you guys have let us down a little bit here lately. Hop on the review train, give us something creative, and we'll read it on the show. You can also email us at therandomwordblog@gmail.com.
We will be doing some shirt giveaways.
Yeah, I told you, I showed you the message from the person that like gave me, like somebody that I didn't even know.
Oh,
right?
did she respond back?
No, but so I had put that story with the shirt and said, should we make the shirt available to Rando Nation? If you follow us on Instagram at Random Word Podcast, this random account responded, yes, but come up with a better design than this. And I said, LOL, always open for suggestions. And she never responded from there. So,
But like, that's like, what kind of advice is that?
not sure. But so don't be that person. Watch them be listening to this show right now. But yeah.
Wrigley!
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Enough!
Reach out to us on Instagram. We will do a shirt giveaway. I've got a brand new shirt that we'll be releasing here at some point. I put it on a sweatshirt. We're going to test it out. I'm giving it to a rando fan here this Saturday. Besides that, Salty Dalton, are you ready for the ending of the show for this season? We're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to think of something. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pixie
Tostitos.
stick.
Oh.
My God.
I was going to go Kit Kat.
Whew. Nerve-wracking. The Candyman. Trick or treat, everybody. Hold on, let's get some music to play us out here. We're going to get back into the music here. So we hope you guys have a happy Halloween next week. And hope you come up with some good costumes. Enjoy your Halloween. And sayonara,
Our sweet suckers.
How do you know when a ghost is sad?
Oh, okay.
It goes, boo-hoo.
God damn it. Good night, everybody. Good morning. Good night. Good morning. Wait, you got to say your thing. I said the sweet suckers line, then you go.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I said. What do I say?
Did you say, you said something different.
Oh yeah, no.
Sayonara, my sweet suckers.
We howdy. Wait, what room is left out of a ghost's house?
No, we have to end the show.
Oh, sorry, what room is left out of a ghost's house?
The basement.
No,
Oh, okay. I don't know the answer.
the living room.
All right, let's get the out of here.